Hi, this is Lara from Forex Info USA with your free US dollar index Elliott Wave analysis for Monday the 8th of March at the beginning of a new trading week. I have subscription services for Elliott Wave analysis of the euro dollar and or the pound dollar if you want to use this Elliott Wave analysis to help you in your trading. So go to www.forexinfo.us, find the big fat green subscribe button and check out the package that's right for you. Starting today's analysis, I'm going to go right back to 1985, reminding ourselves of the bigger picture. We had a 5-wave down impulse, and this is where wave 5 ends down here. Thereafter, we have a 3 waves up for A, a 3 waves down for B, which denotes a 5 waves up just beginning now for wave C. Because wave A was a 3-wave structure, and because wave B, which is always a 3-wave structure, in this instance reaches below the start of A, this is called an expanded flat correction. And usually with an expanded flat correction, C wave is a long, strong wave that reaches well beyond the end of wave A. So what that means, in lay terms, is we can expect the dollar to see continuous rises over the next few years with little shorter falls than the rises in between. Don't get fooled by those. The overall trend is up. And it's going to see the dollar rise to levels very comfortably above this high of A, which is about 122. Now this is its cycle degree, these aqua colours. That's supposed to be aqua, it's kind of green. And they, in this instance, have lasted about 7 or 8 years. That's about right for cycle degree. So over the next few years, we should see continued strong dollar rises. And at the moment, we've just had a primary 1 and 2 within the cycle wave C, and we're just on the early stages of this 3rd wave up. 3rd waves are the longest and strongest of all the waves, so within the C wave, we're entering the strongest phase of these dollar rises. Having a slightly closer look at this structure here, on this chart, just going back for 10 years, here was at top of cycle A and the bottom of cycle B, and here's our recent rises with the 1, 2, and we're just in the early phases of this 3rd wave up. I have a target on the upside for that. It will reach price equality with wave 1, which is the minimum we expect it to reach at, when it gets to 92.97. I expect it's much more likely to achieve a 0.618 relationship with wave 1, and I expect wave 3 at primary degree to most likely reach up to about 104.58, and that's probably going to take a few months, probably the rest of this year. So with shorter falls in between like this little one here, we can expect continued dollar rises right up to about 104.58 throughout this year and maybe early into next year as well. Taking you now to a closer look at what's happened recently with the dollar, where this blue 1 and 2 just down here is analogous with this blue 1 and 2, and here's our recent dollar rises with a minor or blue 1 and 2 complete and a minor 3 blue most probably complete. These blue lines are Elliott's channeling technique. I've drawn this one here encompassing the upwards movement of wave 3 blue by drawing a trend line from this high I've labelled 1 to this high I've labelled 3, creating a parallel copy and placing it on this low I've labelled 4. This creates a parallel trend channel that encompasses the price movement for this upwards wave 3. Price has steadily been on the downside of this channel for a few days now, and I give a lot of weight to Elliott's channeling technique because it works so well. So I've had some people ask, and yes, it is certainly possible that we do not have the end to wave 3 blue. It's possible to count this series of upward rises as an incomplete wave 3 requiring further strong rises. However, it's extremely likely that it is over. I say that because I place a lot of weight on this channeling technique. It works very well. It also tends to work very well for corrective structures. And this is a traditional way to draw a corrective channeling channel. From the low labelled A and C, draw your AC line, create a parallel copy and place it on the high here labelled B. A nice parallel channel that's containing this corrective movement that I've got labelled wave 4 blue. And until I see movement confidently to the upside, not just an overthrow, but a full bar on the upside of this trend channel, I'm going to have a bit of a question mark about whether or not wave 4 is over. It's technically met requirements with a regular flat correction, because this wave A was a 3-wave structure. Technically, it may be over here. We do see a 5 waves up with the correction down. We may see another strong 5 waves up in the next day or so to take it above, outside this channel. If that happens, I'll take away this question mark here, and that will be the end to wave 4 blue, and will be in the next series of rises up. When we get to that point, I'll know the start of wave 5 blue, and then I'll calculate targets on the upside. Until I see that movement above this parallel trend channel, I'm going to leave this question mark here. So taking you now to an hourly chart to have a closer look at the breakdown of this structure, where this pink C and blue 4 is this pink C and blue 4 down the bottom here. And here's our parallel trend lines from A to C, a parallel copy up on B here, and this movement is very nicely contained within here. Wave A just off to the left here was very, very clearly a 3-wave structure, so this is definitely a flat correction. B corrected right up to nearly the start of A, and it does meet the requirements for a flat correction. Thereafter, we see a 5 waves down for C, which is exactly what we expect to see, and it's reached a little bit below the bottom of A, exactly what we expect for a regular flat correction. Thereafter, we see what certainly does have a strong 5-wave look, and possibly may be the very first leg in our 5th wave at blue degree, or we could be seeing a beginning of a 3-wave move to turn back down. Perhaps it's turned back down now, come back up to finish a nice strong 3-wave look. We may be seeing a triangle. We could also be seeing a combination correction. Wave 2, I'm just going to take you back to the daily. This wave 2 was a complicated combination correction. Using the guideline of alternation, which works between lengths as well as structures, we could expect wave 4 to end at this simple flat correction. That's entirely possible and fits the guideline of alternation very well. Alternatively, wave 4 could very well be a triangle as well. So until, like I said, I see movement up here, I'm not going to be certain this is over. Another reason I'm a little uncertain that this is over, and I'm going to say it could very well continue throughout this week and really take its time, is using MACD. You can use this. Here is A, B, C of that flat correction I've got labelled ABC. You can use MACD to tell you when wave C is over. Now, I know this is a very untraditional, not normal way of using MACD. That's fine. It doesn't mean it's invalid. Drawing a trend line on price from A to C. And when we get to C, it's the end of a structure. Momentum should be waning. So I'm using MACD as a momentum indicator. A trend line on corresponding lows on MACD, A to C. If we see an ending structure and a lack of momentum here, we should see a corresponding divergence in MACD, and that's not the case in this instance. Therefore, we could be seeing the further unfolding of a more complicated combination, and this wave 4 may not be over. It's fairly likely that it could extend. We don't have confirmation from MACD that this is the end of a C wave. If it was, we would expect this point in MACD to be higher and the trend line to be trending upwards. That would give us divergence. We don't have that. So that's my analysis for the US dollar. Until tomorrow, I'll be looking interestingly at the next 24 hours. It may be this week that we just see some continued choppy sideways movement. And with the inverse relationship it has with the euro, that also is possible. And range trading may be the order of the day for this week. As always, I do hope this is useful in your trading. And as always, I hope that all your trades are profitable.